Hey guys, this is Joel from the Fincastle Pokemon Gym. Now, I haven't put anything out in the way of Mega Decks since they re-entered the TCG world, and that's not for the lack of trying. I say here all the time, I'm not going to throw some junk out just for content. I truly want everything I post to be something playable and as competitive as possible, which is a harder task for some cards than it is for others. Mega Manectric and Mega Gengar EX have been my focus since they were released, and I literally have tried everything I can think of for both cards, which has resulted in so many decks that it has become difficult to sift through the builds and remember which ones were the good ones, and there are several good ones of each. Now, I've made much more definitive progress on the Gengar front, to the point that I had to decide which build I liked the best. Now, one factor that helped me make up my mind was this question: which of these is a Mega Gengar deck, and which of these is a deck that just has Mega Gengar in it? Which narrowed the menu down to two, which led to the inevitable follow-up question: do you want your Gengar with or without a side of Toxtricity? I'm going the route of the purist and bringing you just a straight Mega Gengar EX deck. The Mega Gengar EX is a Stage 2, 350 HP Darkness type, with an ability, 1 attack, weakness to fighting, and a 2 energy retreat cost. And you can see in the handy dandy little rule box that since he is a Mega, when he is knocked out, your opponent takes 3 prizes. Now, the ability is called Shadowy Concealment. It states that if one of your dark Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from an opposing EX, your opponent takes 1 less prize card. So if anything without a rule box is knocked out, they take no prize cards for knocking it out. If it is an EX, they take only 1 prize card, and if it is a Mega, they only take 2. But the keywords here are that your Pokemon have to be a Dark type, and the attacking Pokemon has to be an EX. And it has to be attack damage, not damage counters. I think my initial reaction on seeing that was, well, that's broken. But after playing it for a while, I think it's fairly well balanced. It's not too easy to achieve, and it has plenty of limitations as to how it can be used. But continuing to look at the card, Mega Gengar isn't all about the ability though. It does have a solid attack. The attack is called Void Gale, and it does 230 damage for 2 dark energies, and requires that you move an energy from Mega Gengar to one of your bench Pokemon. And there are no limits on that, so it can be a special energy, and it does not matter who you move it to, it only matters that you move it. That is required. At 350 HP, this card has everything you need to be the centerpiece of a deck, so that's what I did. This isn't a Mega Absol deck, a Viper deck, or some kind of dark box with 8 different Pokemon in it. And I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again here. I am converting most of my list to post-rotation, so things up till now that have made a lot of Stage 2s work, especially like the TM Evolution and Arven, will not be in anything from here on out. That said, you can see I run a thick line. It's a 4-3-3 line of Mega Gengar, and to give you that turn to get him and hopefully not lose a Ghastly, I run 2 Morpeko. Now, Morpeko unfortunately is on the rotation chopping block as well, but there are plenty of ways to replace him when that time comes. For now, I picked him because he has free retreat when there is no energy on him, but he can also deal a little bit of damage while charging Mega Gengar, as his attack Energizer Wheel requires you move both Dark Energy to one of your bench Pokemon. The other Pokemon here should be self-explanatory at this point. Munkidori moves a little damage off of your Mega Gengar, but also provides basically a 30 damage boost to Mega Gengar's attack. Featurun EX gives you free switches with its Subjugating Chains ability, so you can bounce back and forth between your 2 Mega Gengar, and he poisons the Pokemon that he switches in, which allows you to use the 2 Binding Mochi. Binding Mochi on Mega Gengar will boost Void Gale by 40, raising it to 270 damage. Onto the items. The items again are pretty basic. I went with the A-Spec Secret Box because it is so good early, letting you get a rare candy, a supporter, your Mochi, and a Stadium all in one shot. And from this page, as far as rotation goes, you only lose the Nest Ball and the Earthen Vessel. I think the Pokepad is an easy swap in for the Nest Balls, and Vessel can probably be replaced by a copy of one of several of the supporters, which I will get to now. Looking at the supporter page first, I love Dawn in here, thus the 4 copies. And Dawn lets you get any of the pieces that you're missing from your Gengar line, And if you already have Gastly out, you can use it to grab Morpeko, the Monkey Dory, the Peachuroni X, or the Pheasantipede X. It all doesn't just have to be from the same Pokemon line. You can mix and match however you want to. You can see I've got 2 copies of Hilda. Hilda just ups the consistency of getting out a quick Gengar, allowing you to get an evolution and an energy. And I think when Vessel goes, I'm adding an extra copy of this. You can also see I've got 2 copies of Janine. Janine gives you that little extra energy acceleration, which also makes it a candidate for replacing Vessel. Probably just personal choice on which way you choose to go there. And then there are the last 2. Now, Wally's Compassion completely heals a Mega in exchange for returning any energy on that Pokemon into your hand, which is amazing with Mega Gengar because after attacking, you should only have 1 energy on Mega Gengar anyways. Now, in playing the deck, I haven't been satisfied with getting Wally's Compassion into my hand when I wanted. I guess the solution to that may be that Meowth EX when we get it. That Meowth will let you search a supporter when you bench him, just like the old Tapu Lele GX used to do. I forget exactly when we get that, but keep your eyes out for that. I know it's soon. And as you can see right now, I only run 1 boss. I don't like that low number. I like it to be more, and as I play this more, I'm sure a card or 2 will surface as that 1 card that seems like it's unnecessary. It's always in your hand and you can't use it. But until that becomes evident, I'm just sticking with the 1 copy. It's worked so far as I played it. Now for the stadiums, I threw in Risky Ruins, which puts 2 damage counters on any non-dark Pokemon when you bench it. I'm not married to the card in here, but again, it does even up some math. But keep that on the list of cards to play around with if you like this list and want to modify it a little bit for yourself. There are obviously a few variables in here. Feel free to throw your suggestions in the comments. This deck is very good as it is. I think with a couple tweaks, it'll just be even better. If you do leave a comment, hit a thumbs up while you're there, and subscribe so you can see what I come up with next. Now, let's play a few games. This first game is going to be against a pretty standard Charizard Pidgeot deck with Dusknoir, of course. It became really hard to get very many fully recorded games with this deck. I don't know if it's Gengar or if it's just the time that I was recording or what, but opened with a pretty standard turn, just got out my basics. They did the same. They drew with Cleffa. I've already got an energy on that Morpeko. This is the combo that I like. Like to have those 4 Dawn for this reason. You use it to get your basic Peachuroni and then get the rest of that Gengar line. From there, we'll go ahead and Rare Candy 1 Gastly into Mega Gengar. Go and evolve that second one into Haunter. Attach energy to Morpeko. And Peachuroni will send him up. Really can't script this any better than that. That's the ideal first turn. We use the Energizer Wheel, knock out the little Cleffa, and move 2 energies down to the first Mega Gengar. And off the prizes, we'll get a Hilda, which is another nice pull. They got 2 Charizard, and then Counter Catcher. Got my Pheasantipede. I think they realized that if they can just stay in the prize race, they'll be able to get Mega Gengar late. So I'm going to go ahead and use Hilda, get Mega Gengar and an energy. Set up that 1-2 combo where you can just keep moving energies back and forth between the same 2. I'll go ahead and use Night Stretcher to get my Pheasantipede back. And bench him again. Hopefully not to get knocked out on the next turn. Draw with that, I'll use Monkey Dory and go ahead and move some of that damage off of Morpeko over to Pidgeot. We'll keep him in the back of my mind for a target. Now, even with my Mochi on, I can only do 270, so I want to get some damage on that Pidgeot. We'll punch that Gengar. Comes back and hits me for 210. I top a Dawn. So I'm just going to attach to the fresh Gengar, and I will Lily's Determination. Go ahead and get Mochi down on the Mega Gengar. Probably could have put it on Morpeko. It doesn't really make any super difference in this other than chasing that Pidgeot EX down. I'm going to go ahead and use Monkey Dory this time and see if I can target one of these Duskull. They're only 60 HP. If they don't evolve it, I can get it. And if they use it in as a Dusclops, I'll get the prize card anyway. So we'll finish off the Charizard. Move energy down, and then with the off the prizes, get another Dawn and an energy. They Iono'd me, and kind of stuck me. I had my play set up to end the game there. I've got boss. I just needed to move over and kill this Duskull. I was hoping here that maybe I could still get an energy out of the prizes, because I've got boss in hand. I could end it, but that did not work out. So I will just use Peacherunt and send up the Morpeko. Now I'm going to pass back to them. They evolved to Charizard. They get Secret Box. This is kind of a scary play when you see it happen. It's a very good play by my opponent. You can see they got Counter Catcher and Briar. I'm at 2 prize cards. They're still at 5. Even though Mega Gengar can negate losing 3, they reactivated it by getting that Briar. They'll play the Briar. They're going to catch the Gengar with the Mochi. And they will hit me for 330 and take 3 prizes thanks to the Briar. Would have been 4 if it was any other Mega other than Mega Gengar. Nice thing about him. I'll send up the Morpeko. We'll draw off a Pheasantipity. All I need is an energy to close this thing out. Didn't get the energy, but I got Night Stretcher, so I'll get energy back out of the discard pile. I'll use Peacherunt to send up the other Mega Gengar. And I already had some damage moved over to that Pidgeot. I'm just doing this just for peace of mind, because when you're old, sometimes it's hard to see the other side of the screen. So I move that damage over, make sure I've got that Pidgeot in range, and I'll boss him up. And we'll punch him with Mega Gengar and take the last 2 prizes. A little bit closer game than I thought that would have been, thanks to that play from Briar. I've got one game here against Gardevoir. Gardevoir is pretty interesting because they can do a lot of damage counter movement and placement and get around Gengar's ability. I did cut out probably the opening 9 minutes of this because Gardevoir is horrible to play against in terms of how long it takes them to get through a turn. They use a Scream Tail and knock out a Ghastly that I had on the bench. Here I'm going to go ahead and use Dawn, get Monkey Dory, Haunter, and Mega Gengar. I've already got energies on one Mega Gengar, so I'll evolve to my second one. Get Monkey Dory down and see if I can try to negate some of this damage counter movement. I guess we'll just be moving them back and forth like a tennis match, but I'll go ahead and use Monkey Dory and I'm going to put them over on Curlia. Don't really anticipate being able to really set up too many knockouts with this because they're just going to get moved right back. And we'll knock out that Scream Tail. Off the first prize there, we will get a Darkness Energy. On their turn, they move damage counters over with their Monkey Dory and knock out a Morpeko. And then they pass. I think they were trying to set up a play with this Mew EX. They didn't have enough energy to get it. So they evolved to a Gardevoir, like I said, pass back to me. I'm going to Ultra Ball, go ahead and get my Pheasantipity. Get Pheasantipity down, I can still use that because they did knock out that Morpeko, even though it was just in the middle of their turn with damage counters attached to the active Mega Gengar. And then we'll just take out this one Monkey Dory. That's really one of the better things to take off the field if you have to take a single prizer. So at least they have to get another monkey back down and a energy on it. Now here they do the play I think they were trying to get to last turn, where they use Mew to copy my attack and hit me for 230 and move an energy down. That leaves that Mew up, which is kind of nice because I can get him multiple ways. Morpeko is the best way to get him. I do have a Binding Mochi on him, so Binding Mochi doesn't really help me make a Gengar in this match, so it's better to play him on Morpeko. I'm going to Lily. Not much else to do there. I will use Monkey Dory so I can get some of this damage back off of Gengar for however long it will stay off of him. Like I said, with only one Monkey Dory in play, it's not quite as bad. We'll use Energizer Wheel and take out that Mew EX and move that energy down. One more than I need on Gengar, but I'll be able to move that off of him. They set up a Scream Tail and again bypass my ability, knock out my Mega Gengar and take 3 prizes, get down to 1. You can see I've already got Boss in hand. I've got Mega Gengar charged up. There's 2 Gardevoir EX sitting over there, weak to dark, that I can take either one of. So I'll just use my boss, grab the prettier one, get that full art one, and then we'll one-shot that Gardevoir. It's times 2 for 540. Doesn't matter where you move the energy down. And win another pretty close game, getting the Wally off the prizes, which is what I want to talk about next. In both of these games, and in a ton of other ones, having Wally's Compassion in hand after taking an attack with Mega Gengar would swing those games massively in my favor. And that said, I do not have any footage of me doing that because the only times it was possible were in games where my opponent conceded before I could play the card. And I know there are some minor tweaks that can be made to this, but I think that is the missing piece of this deck. If you can get Wally consistently, this deck will be a beast to deal with. It already is, and I don't think I've got it completely worked out yet. But often you can see something that I don't, so I'll hand it off to you guys to see what you can do with it. And I really like this one. I think Mega Gengar EX variants will definitely have a place going into the post-rotation format. And I don't see why the big fella can't have his own deck, because what fun is Gengar if he's just sitting on your bench? And that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching and continuing to support the channel. Until next time, be not afraid. Later.